England flew down here this morning from the Nantes region in high enough spirits already, and they're straight away into another major test. France ranked 4th in the world and on home soil. They've really freshened their side tonight. Only Barthez, Blanc and Deschamps began the game against Brazil, though all 3 substitutes used in Lyon are in from the start tonight, including Arsenal's Patrick Vieira and the goal scorer Marc Keller. They will expect Yuri Djorkaeff to give the team direction, operating behind 2 forwards, Nicolas Wedek and Christophe Dugarry.
Yes, a very attacking line-up and a big responsibility on the captain Deschamps. I think he'll be the most defensive of the midfield players. Vieira will play his natural role as he does for Arsenal, getting forward from box to box. Keller, although on the right-hand side there, he will swap from left to right. Djorkaeff, you mentioned, Martin, is world-class, and he's always a threat to any opposition.
So to bring you right up to date with England, David Seaman back in goal, the same defensive 3 as in Poland, plus Graham Lasso on the left. Phil Neville keeps his place on the right. David Beckham again more central in midfield tonight with David Batty and Paul Gascoigne. As you've heard, Gazza's 50th cap. Paul Scholes would have started but isn't fully fit. And Ian Wright's performances against South Africa and Italy have earned him a game alongside Alan Shearer.
Yes, that's the only change I would say in terms of tactical sense. The fact that Wright is up front, 2 of them will play as out-and-out strikers. Possibly Gascoigne may play a bit loose, with Beckham and Batty being the central midfield players. But as I mentioned, Deschamps a big responsibility for France, and I feel Batty has that for England. He will have to control the big threat that I mentioned of Djorkaeff.
Well, France have only 10 substitutes, from which 3 may be used. Caron injured early against Brazil. England named the full 11. Rob Lee has been back in full training after toe trouble. And as I say, Paul Scholes a minor muscle strain, and Martin Keown a sore shoulder. Well, it's taken Paul Gascoigne the best part of 9 years to reach 50 caps, but for misfortune and misadventure, it would have been many more. He's very determined to play a part in what is developing into a very competitive England setup. Competitive against the opposition, of course, but very competitive to stay in the side itself. France meeting for the first time for 5 years. They drew in Euro 92 in Sweden, but both finished Euro 96 with identical disappointments. The 2 losing semi-finalists, both bowing out on penalties. England came and had a look at the pitch on the way from the airport to the team hotel around midday, and Ben Hoddle did request for an extra cut to the grass, and it looks as though that request has been met, as we're off for both these sides' second game in the Tournoi. France certainly bounced back from a rather demoralising opening half an hour or so against the brilliance of Brazil, but showed themselves worthy competitors, as you would expect with their record, to get that 1-1 draw. You all know about what England did to Italy. The stadium has undergone extensive renovation for the World Cup. That's pretty complete now, upgrading to a 35,000 capacity. So here's Gascoigne. David Batty taking a break from the action tonight. So Campbell back in the team. Beckham had a good look to where Phil Neville had gone forward in that adventurous style of his, but decided that the pass might have been just too ambitious this early in the game. As Phil Neville really on his way back from where he was when Beckham had the ball. And Vieira of Arsenal, Deschamps of Juventus, Keller starting on the left-hand side. Wedek, the support, calling for a free kick. Dugarry, who was tracked by Blackburn Rovers a year or so ago, but chose to go to Italy rather than come to England. He's got a free kick this time. The referee incidentally comes from Morocco, which was once under French control, but I'm sure will be a very neutral official tonight, highly rated by FIFA. So the first test for England here in Montpellier. Dugarry, who is more than useful in the air, and scored in Euro 96 with a header against Romania, you might recall.
It's a nicely flighted ball this from Djorkaeff, found the head of Dugarry. Gets up above Campbell, can't quite direct his header downwards. But already, Martin, we've only played, 2 minutes this game, and already the signs are this is going to be a more difficult game for England than what the other night was in the Italian game.
Well, it's difficult for Barthez here because it wasn't just a case of getting to the ball, it was where was the edge of his area as well. And he performed an awkward task, painfully, but effectively. Beckham's ball that had both Wright and Shearer sprinting forward menacingly. Barthez has dropped to his knees, still feeling the effects of the collision. Djorkaeff, aware his goalkeepers in need of a little breather.
Yes, the trainer has just come to the side of the pitch, just asking Barthez if he needs treatment, but I think the signal is no, I think he'll be okay. Very, very touch and go, wasn't it, if he was in or outside the box? Certainly the right decision he made to come for it. I felt that perhaps Peruzzi was a little bit slow coming off his line when Wright got clear for the first goal, but on this occasion Barthez was very, very alert.
Catching Beckham on the wrong foot. Thursday, incidentally, there was so much rain here that the local fire brigade were put on standby. Off surface water, had that been required. France had to cancel a planned training session on this pitch. But although it's remained cloudy, the rain has stopped. It's a good surface for both these sides to try and produce a performance as well as a result. France very keen to do that. Their results have been excellent. And there's Rousseau giving away a free kick. Down Thuram.
I just think it was sheer skill that actually beat the soul there from Thuram. Not a natural right back as we've seen this season. Plays so often for Parma at the centre of defence.
What a good season he's had.
An excellent player, one of the best I would say in Serie A. Tonight playing on the right hand side as a fullback.
Deschamps' forward ball skimming off the head of Southgate. Seaman concentrating on getting good distance to the clearance. Ian Wright knows the capabilities of his clubmate. So Wright and Shearer together. Twice they started under Graham Taylor. That was in '92. Once under Terry Venables in '94 when Wright was asked to play in a wider position. He really didn't do himself justice, and many wrote him off as an international after that game. But not when Hoddle. He has a look at a possible partnership here that he can use.
Well, that's a challenge you're going to see quite often tonight. The two of them very, very close together, as you'd expect. Djorkaeff and Batty.
Dugarry. Turning too quickly for Sol Campbell's liking. Not played much this season, Dugarry, because of injury.
Oh, just like Rousseau, who was beaten for sheer skill from Thuram. This occasion it's Campbell. Little back flip from Dugarry, too clever for Campbell. Good situation this for Djorkaeff to exploit.
David Seaman, well, he came and couldn't collect. There was no one, happily for England, attacking a deep free kick.
Well, Patrick Vieira was the closest at the back post. Didn't really go to attack it.
Where Barthez had to be very sound in his judgment, and he was. You just see it definitely was inside the area. He's only got 3 up. Gascoigne with the 2 you'd expect further forward, but too eager. Gotti brought in to France in the back line in place of the Desailly, who's not 100% fit. L'Aigle, with the Italian-based Frenchman. This is Deschamps. France, one defeat in 35 internationals, but there's still a national debate, believe it or not, about whether Aimé Jacquet, the coach, is the right man for the job. It's largely because they don't score sufficient quantities of goals to please the fans, and it is, by Jacquet's standards, a very attacking-looking French side tonight that England have got to deal with.
This is the first free kick that England have had, committed a number of fouls themselves. It's a very, very competitive game for a friendly.
A bit fortunate from Turan that it went to Ngotti. Second effort more successful to get it headed back to Barthez. What do you say, friendly, Trevor? The organisers of Le Tournoi would hope that they would induce competitive play. Certainly competitive France and Brazil, and maybe Italy, the one nation we've seen so far who didn't really set out to compete or couldn't match England's level of competition. They've been critical of some of the way the weight was thrown around. Slipping.
And already there have been a number of challenges which resulted in a free kick. Just wondering how long the referee will continue to give free kicks. Won't be long before he brandishes the yellow card. Certainly a flurry of yellow cards in the second half the other night, wasn't there?
They certainly were, and Hollis had strong words to his players. This is Patrick Vieira, who's not known in French football for the power of his shooting, but the ball broke quite nicely for him then, but he didn't really attack the chance of the Elizabeth player who thought he was going to score.
No, he was looking for the ball just to sit up a little bit more. Otherwise, it would have been a good opportunity to get the volley in on target.
Won by Laurent Blanc, then Batty for England, Gascoigne. Kelly. Here's Gary now. The parents of Gary and Philip are in Montpellier, as they were in Nantes. Yeah, England's desire to get the ball, but you're quite right, Trevor. The card had to come out sooner rather than later, and it's been shown to David Batty.
Well, I'm not really a betting man, Martin, but I think they'll let a few quid on Batty being the first to go into the book. The tackle that he committed on Djorkaeff was very, very close to the mark. On this occasion, I think the referee, right, has given the yellow card for that challenge on Vieira.
It's offside. Against Nicolas Wedek, who plays in Spain for Espanyol. Hasn't had much of a season. He, like Dugarry, has spent too much time on the treatment table, the players' liking. But they are looking for the right formula up front, the French, and opportunity for the two in front of Djorkaeff to show what they can do. They played together in the French under-21 side before. Forward by Philip Neville. Two quickly to Beckham. Back pass wasn't really perfectly designed. Ngotti for Barthez. That's really showing his strength then, but having to play on the retreat. Deschamps with little room to look around. Look for Wedek. Quite enough weight on the pass.
A number of England players, Martin, in this early part of the game being caught in possession of the ball. That's a bad challenge from Deschamps. Some clever play from Gascoigne. Saw Deschamps committed himself, pushed it through his legs.
Quick free kick though from England, and Graham Mosson is on his way here. Sure, pulling to the far post. And right in the penalty area, but no one else there for England. Gascoigne waiting on the edge. Here he is. Right, seen off by Blanc, but I must say, if England have been late once or twice with tackles, France guilty themselves. Look at this.
Well, if he actually connected,
It's Patrick Vieira.
it was a very, very bad challenge.
It's a sort of challenge that Vieira, I think he got 11 yellow cards, something like that for Arsenal over the season. It was the weakest part of his otherwise very effective first year in English football.
Actually, when the ball was thrown out, Gary Neville ran all of 50 yards to give Vieira a mouthful. It wasn't a very pleasant challenge, and I'm very surprised that the referee elected to allow it to go by. But what's happening now? Is he booking Beckham?
Well, David Beckham has been shown a yellow card, and when I really assume that technically he's supposed to go off on the stretcher, can you be booked for that? If that is the case, well, Beckham will miss the match against Brazil, having been one of 4 England cautions against Italy.
What did I say about this being a friendly? Obviously not in the eyes of the referee.
Referee.
That's ridiculous, Martin, isn't it? It's not entering into the spirit of the tournament, booking a player for that. It's a World Cup game, yes, but it's only a friendly tournament.
Well, the fact is, Vieira should have been booked for the foul. Saïd Belqola from Morocco. That's something of a reputation in the international game for a brandisher of the cards. And at the moment, he's got a difficult game to deal with.
Yes, but he allows it to be like this. The first 3 or 4 minutes, there were a number of tackles that went in, could have been a yellow card. He allowed it to go by. Now he's got himself a difficult game. We have to ask the question as well, what is a referee from Morocco refereeing a game between England and France?
Well, let me tell you that on Tuesday, Brazil against England, according to the official list, has a South American referee from Colombia, which also seems unnecessary in the circumstances. Here's Philip Neville. Southgate, whose personal form has really improved for England over the last 2 or 3 games. Campbell looking for Shearer. This was Zephyr in Poland, 10 out of 10. And him in that game, 10 goals in the last 10 internationals as well. Vieira. This is Djorkaeff, who likes to operate in that halfway position. There is a school of thought, Trevor, here in France, that he should be the out-and-out striker and that Zidane should play in the playmaking role. But Djorkaeff has said he doesn't want to play there.
Well, certainly on this occasion here, I'd be very alarmed if I was Glenn Hoddle with the amount of room that he finds himself in. There's not one midfield player within 10 yards of him. It's Campbell that's had to come out to try and close him down. It's certainly a good shooting opportunity. It's rather wasted.
Waiting. Reined in by Gary Neville. Philip Neville. With Gascoigne. Shearer showing, but England keep it in midfield. Beckham's gone through the centre. Gascoigne helped by Batty. Right. Graham was throwing a lot of space. Thuram got sucked into the centre, but he had the length of stride to get across. The pass wasn't perfect from England's point of view to get the so going, but he was waiting and waiting when the ball came. Thuram hit the ground there to get to it.
Certainly Gascoigne didn't get the ball, and I think Thuram did him a favour. Being a defender, he let him just down his feet. If he'd gone over, I think Gascoigne may have been in trouble.
Of course, he got booked against Italy as well, and probably would be starting to get a bit short of midfield players if he's suspended on Tuesday night as well. Southgate. Certainly in the French press there's been a lot of complimentary things written about England. Tended to rather look down their noses at our football. The old expression, kick and rush, is often thrown at you. Far more sophisticated these days. Really right at the sharp end of things. Turning a corner. With the crowd behind Barquez's goal. Long, really clearing his lines with the header. Back from Gary Neville, but it's Gascoigne who's adjudged offside. Well, if you're going to have a rehearsal for a World Cup, yes. Determination should be part of it. That's a fine line between that and misapplied aggression. Gascoigne. Trevor, you played in '85 in a similar sort of tournament in Mexico.
Possibly because of the conditions there. It was very, very hot. Wasn't a very, very high tempo game. Not too many particularly aggressive challenges. So this game has started off in cool temperatures, which obviously suits players. And it is very, very competitive. I think France, being the home side, they want to give a good account of themselves in front of their own supporters. I think they've surprised England with the speed in which they've pressed the ball. I think the other night against Italy, England were allowed to play. They had plenty of possession. They weren't really closed down by the Italians. But certainly tonight, France are closing the ball down very, very quickly.
Djorkaeff taking up a very good position again. The drop on Batty. This is Dugarry. To be held cleanly by Seaman because Wedek was following in between any bits and pieces.
This was possibly the best chance they've had so far. They've hit 2 or 3 shots from outside the box. Free shot for Dugarry. You'd expect a player of his ability to have done better.
England's turn to press and force the error. Beckham. Now the ball again could have been on to Phil Neville, but once more Beckham decided to keep it safe and simple.
Yes, he's trying his best, Phil Neville, to get forward, but not so easy tonight because he's got 2 players down this side. Obviously the French manager is aware of the threat of Phil Neville, so that's the reason I feel he's put Keller there. He's also got Legler just in behind him, so there are 2 players covering the runs of Neville.
So spotted by Deschamps. England still looking for an attempt on the French goal.
Well, I suppose after 20 minutes, it's a little bit too early to be analysing, what England haven't done in front of goal, but you do feel, Martin, over the last 3 or 4 years that England have preferred with Terry Venables and with Glenn Hoddle to play with a link player just in behind the front player, whoever it may be up front. Tonight, of course, they've got the 2 out-and-out strikers, and I feel it's in that area that we don't have the player who can receive the ball just off the front man. That's something that we should keep our eye on for the remainder of this first half. We're asking Beckham and Gascoigne to try and get forward, as Beckham is at the moment. Whereas that link player, I feel, is the one who's missing at the moment.
Just wondered, Ben Hoddle was talking yesterday about taking a risk, and whether that was the risk.
Well, I feel that if Scholes had been fit tonight, undoubtedly he would have played, and he would have been the one who would have been asked to play in behind the front 2.
Dugarry doing very well. There were 3 opening in the centre, but he might be able to cut the ball back. So England bring everyone back to defend the corner. And that was Thuram. They are strong and powerful, France.
Well, it's the corner we see so often on the continent, the one that swings away Certainly Thuram attacked that ball, but couldn't quite get direction on the header.
It's also, of course, a big test this tournament for Glenn Hoddle, pitting his wits against seasoned international coaches, much older men than him. Maldini, 65 years old, so is Brazil's Zagallo. Aimé Jacquet, his opponent tonight at 55, still 16 years the senior of England's head coach. There's a lot of respect in France for Glenn Hoddle because of course his work as a player with Monaco. Joker. And there is also a lot of respect in this country. Southgate, a bit lucky that Deschamps slipped then. Allowed Batty to collect the ball. And that's France pushing up, and Ian Wright called offside. For the absence of the linking player and the inclusion of Wright, to say that he's earned the right to have a game with Shearer, hasn't he, the way he's played against the South Africa and particularly Italy.
Well, I would have thought he's done better than Glenn ever anticipated. He's obviously got a high regard for him.
And here he is, Ian Wright, with a lot of space. He's trying to craft a pass there. Shearer makes sure the pass is possible, but it was never going to put Alan Shearer directly into goal. And now the ball bounces back, hits Shearer again, and it's a goal kick. Almost as if Ian Wright was a bit respectful to Alan Shearer then. In that position, you might think for Arsenal he might have gone on a glory trail of his own.
I think he actually chose the wrong option, Martin. He looked across the far side here and saw Shearer was clear, but if he had gone alone, he was one-on-one.
It was a deep ball by Legler that took out Sol Campbell. Wedek trying to take it first time, and the shot wasn't hit cleanly, but it's deflected behind for the corner.
Well, the look on Campbell's face, he was surprised the referee gave a corner here. Let's have a look for ourselves. Oh, there's no doubt about that. That's certainly a corner.
Laurent Blanc, very, very dangerous in the air, but he's watched well by Shearer.
There's an excellent defensive header from Shearer.
Keller trying to get the cross in. Almost 25 minutes played in Montpellier. Keller. Vieira. Sensibly done. Back to Legler. Oh, and Dugarry! Well, stronger contact then, and David Seaman might have found himself picking the ball out of the net.
Well, I have to say, David Seaman's got away with that, but he was very, very lucky. This is a clever ball into the box, played on the volley. Causes England plenty of problems. There it is, it's Blanc who plays it in. This is where Seaman comes for it, realises he can't get there. He's almost embarrassed with a header that almost went through his legs.
And England survive. Batty and Phil Neville. Some way to play it there, Philip Neville. The problem for Shearer and Wright was that France, who really pressed into an offside ploy against Brazil, were well up the pitch as the back line again.
Yes, they're holding a reasonably high line, and they're able to do that because of the midfield boys who are pressing the ball so quickly.
Another reason why Ian Wright was picked up. Space to run into might be there tonight.
I think the reason Ian Wright was picked was because of the fact that he's played so well in the two games and scored 2 goals in 2 games. He's picked himself.
Campbell. Shearer's gone offside this time. Needs movement to get back on. Wright running across the line. Phil Neville coming as well. Again, France get it right and England not quite, but there's surely going to be one occasion where England will get in.
Yeah, I think the 2 of them were offside there, Wright and Neville.
Deschamps. Legler. Aimé Jacquet determined to use the majority of his squad in this tournament.
Certainly a strong squad too, Martin, isn't it? We talk about England's strength and depth, and when you look at some of the players who he's omitted from this lineup tonight.
Belqola. Well, he is one of the junior members of the squad and looking to make an impression in the position that Lizarazu did so well in against Brazil.
Yes, I don't think England mind too much. Belqola shooting from all of 35 yards. There has to be something special from that distance to beat David Seaman.
Jokev. Southgate got it right. That wasn't easy to do. As if maybe the ball just got caught on the breeze. There is a feeling of rain in the air everywhere England have been recently. It's been wet and the players haven't minded that. Certainly helped in Poland on a very poor surface. Do anything to dampen the spirits and not. Goes Ngotti, who was the player who gave away the penalty in that European Cup Winners' Cup final recently, bringing down Ronaldo. Across Paris Saint-Germain, his club, the retaining of that trophy. And Ngotti had scored the winning goal the year before. Phil Neville, the long throw. Barthez, well, made up his mind it would be his. Jokev. There is Bruno Ngotti, regarded as the best French-based defender in the squad now living outside of France. Here's Mosson. Europe right in the centre, just waiting well outside the area like Beckham and Batty. Gascoigne.
Yeah, England are struggling to get players forward into the box. They're so just reluctant to put that ball in there because there's only two players, as you mentioned, Martin, Wright and Shearer.
Maybe one or two more might go in now because England have got a free kick. But they haven't. Shearer got the better of Blanc, but illegally, said the referee from Morocco, who was very close to judge the incident.
Certainly not in Alan Shearer's opinion.
Vieira. Some good runs by Christophe Dugarry. Sol Campbell saw him off that time. It'll be interesting to talk to the players afterwards, Trevor, and find out what they made of flying to a game on the day of the game. It was a genuine experiment by Glenn Hoddle, who used to fly around France as a player with Monaco and felt it never did him any harm.
Yes, I spoke to one or two of the press this morning. They were trying to make something of it. Asked me if I'd ever flown on the day of the game. Certainly know that one or two in the Premiership back home do it on the day of the game quite regularly.
Middlesbrough, one club that fly a lot.
And I suppose the fact that England have been rather poor, I would say, in the first half an hour, I suppose it may sort of suit them at the moment because they can attach it to the fact that they travelled this morning. But I just think it's down to the French, who have really surprised England. They've been very, very quick to the ball, very, very aggressive. They've taken England by surprise.
The force of Philip Neville was Wedek.
But there are going to be times when you can't always play in football. But what's vitally important is that you don't concede. We've played 30 minutes so far, haven't looked like scoring. But it's fair to say there's only been one occasion when France have looked like scoring.
Leg. Yeah. It's nicely done by Gascoigne. Ngotti. just across in the nick of time.
Excellent defending, wasn't it? Read the ball played in behind into the channel where Wright wants it, quickly over, dispossessed Wright.
Lovely dummy by Wedek. He's got the ball back from Djorkaeff. But this is France's problem. It's often been said that if they had a world-class central striker, an Alan Shearer, a Ronaldo, I know they don't grow on trees, but they would be definite candidates to win the World Cup.
Yeah, you're right, that was clever build-up play, but very good tackle from Gary Neville.
Alan Shearer's got some space here, but not for long enough. Gotti lost him, got him.
I'll tell you, his speed of recovery is something else. He had to be quick there because that was an opportunity for Alan Shearer. And I think once again, Martin, the surprise at which they closed the way in which they closed that ball down is really surprising the England players. So quick and aggressive at closing it down.
Wedek. To work it with Dugarry. Happy to play on the break. Gascoigne. Right. Antti can win it back for England. Lasso. They're just pulling away from Blanc. And jumping with Legler. And Alan Shearer got the right man to compete against in the air there. It's a tremendous header though. And Barthez had to spring across to save it.
Good header and a good ball in from Lasso. Only two players of England in the box, but he picks out Shearer. He gets above Legler. That's a great header.
So some work for Barthez. It's taken 34 minutes, but let's not forget that this is an away game. Most of the impact of playing Italy was really treated like an away result, but of course it was away for Italy as well, the neutral venue. And as we stressed on the night, Italy didn't arrive really with the bravado of players who'd come to fully compete. That's to take nothing away from England's performance, which was of a very high order. France certainly have been awaiting this tournament, having had no competitive games as the host nation. England found that difficulty, of course, with Euro '96, a series of rather insipid friendlies at Wembley. So they're enjoying the test of trying to win this tournament in their own country. England have kept them at bay. We're 10 minutes away from half-time.
Yeah, just referring back to the other night, it's goals that changed the course of the game, and Di Matteo had a good chance early on, failed to take it. Once Wright put us in the league, there was no holding us.
Dugarry showing that danger in the air again, and it's not easy to outleap Sol Campbell. He did so.
Well, the threat before came from Lasso with a cross on the left-hand side. On this occasion, it's also on France's left-hand side from Legler. Good leap from Dugarry. Can't get it on target.
Gascoigne, a good challenge by Beckham.
Oh, I really should have played Lasso in. He was completely freed on the left-hand side. Gascoigne decided to go alone. Obviously didn't see Lasso.
But there was talk when Nantes after the game, and Gascoigne was only on for a few minutes, we must be fair to him in that respect, but when he was on, that England's pace through midfield slowed down the use of the ball. I'm not talking about his own personal pace, but taking more touches than England had been doing in that department. Did you subscribe to that view?
Just leave it there for a second. Once again, the ball is stopped by the French midfield players there. He wasn't on long enough, Martin, to really make any assessment. I think the game was already won. The only notable thing I suppose he did in that field was going into the book. But I don't think it was the time for judging a player with 15 minutes left.
Taken away by Lasso.
The whole structure of the side was different, wasn't it, the other night? We saw right up front the two players from Sheringham and Scholes continually coming back, getting the ball, looking to feet.
Sorry to cut across you there, Trevor, but David Beckham, who has been booked in this game and got a good telling off from Glenn Hoddle for reacting badly when he was booked in Nantes, was showing just a little temperamental weakness again. He was the first to admit in the press conference after the game that He is letting himself down in that respect, and has done it a few times for Manchester United in the second half of the season. But having said that, he's reacting then when he might have shown a cooler head.
He shouldn't have reacted there, but Dugarry was the culprit. The referee's got to get hold of that. He's pulled his shirt, did a little kick at him across his waist. The referee's got to spot that and book him.
Well, of course, there's another game from the Tournoi tomorrow. You'll see it live on Sky Sports. Back in Lyon, Brazil again against Italy. Very stung by the criticism that they got in their home country for their lack of performance against England, so you can expect a much more positive Italian effort. Join us for that tomorrow evening. Deschamps. And again. Both sides finding it hard to pick out the front players at the moment. All seems to be enjoying it. John Gorman on the side there, Ray Clements as well. It's a coach's sort of game at the moment. A match of fine margins. Mosson. Now Beckham. And certainly England have quietened the crowd, which is not always passionate in France. Frank Leboeuf was telling me in the week that France are looking for their 12th man for the World Cup. That is the support to really manifest itself. In Montpellier, there is the feeling that they are more aggressive and more passionate, the supporters. They're frustrated with the team though, and worried about England's break here, which is a Gascoigne attempted pass for Philip Neville that doesn't come off.
No, I think that's been typical of England the first half. The passing hasn't been as good as it was the other night.
But let's just think back, just over a week ago, the talk was whether England would qualify for the World Cup. Now, certainly over here, there's been major debate about how strong England are as contenders to win the World Cup itself. That's a giant leap. And of course, no one should truly get carried away with Italy away to come in October.
No, I would say playing against Italy, Brazil and France, if you come away from those three games unbeaten, you've got an excellent tournament. At the moment, we've beaten Italy, we're drawing here, so it's going very, very well.
Leg. It's a hopeful ball forward. Dugarry does enough to get Campbell off in the jump, but then fouled him as the chase developed. Beckham. Mark and Gotti finding that Shearer and Wright move superbly together, and Ian Wright in front of goal found that Barthez, who played so well against Brazil, was able to keep out England's clearest opportunity so far.
Well, certainly the linesman got it right because they weren't offside. The French got it wrong. Excellent run from Shearer. And Gotti tries to play offside. Good awareness this from Shearer. He knew exactly where Wright was. And Ian Wright would have expected a score, but that's an excellent save from Barthez. Certainly the best save of the game.
Corner easily dealt with. Wedek trying to get it to Djurkaeff, his first touch on the stretch, to be fair to him. And he took the ball into the path of Gary Neville. Frustration, Djurkaeff bowled him over.
Well, undoubtedly Ian Wright will be annoyed with himself for missing that, but I think we have to give credit to the keeper Barthez. Put it down to an excellent save.
Beckham looking for Wright again. And Shearer and Wright were onside both times, weren't they? Certainly the first movement to Shearer, and when he played it to Ian Wright, Wright was level in the centre. So it was well worked by England, but in the end not well taken. Keller. Off Philip Neville for a corner to France.
I'm just saying, Martin, that's the downside of playing offside, of course. You only have to get it wrong once.
problems with Dugarry. Djorkaeff with the corner. Legler. Well, it went through the crowd. But happily for David Seaman, it wasn't on target.
I don't know if you see this, Martin, but as Legler shoots here, just look at the two French players, the strikers, completely unmarked. Dugarry and Wedek. You don't actually see it too clearly, but the mark wasn't too clever from the England defenders.
Well, the England players complaining, and I understand it's without the ball itself that they feel is on the flat side. Almost flattened then. Shearer by Vieira, who's got away with 2 or 3 robust challenges, to be kind to him. Deschamps does so much fetching and carrying for France. Vieira losing it. Shearer and slow snapping in. Be careful with the challenge here. And France switch the play well. And this is Yuri Djorkaeff. Philip Neville. Oh, now the ball was surely played there.
That's never a foul. That's an awful decision from the referee. Sadly, the referee's not up to it, Martin. Gascoigne was fouled initially by Thuram. It broke away. That was a great tackle from Phil Neville.
Well, he is at least going to bow to England's request to change the ball. But Philip Neville with great speed. And he was the first to react, but other England players were around quickly. And England feel that they're getting the rough end of this. And in the 45th minute of the first half, a chance for France to show their places at set plays.
Well, there's only one fellow who's going to take this, and that's Djorkaeff. He can be very dangerous from this sort of distance.
Here is Djorkaeff. The flick came from Wedek. Seaman was stranded.
Once again, Martin, the mark in there was awful. How can Wedek be that free in his 6-yard box? He really should have scored.
Legler. France unable to sustain the pressure. And England, at the end of it, not punished by what we all felt was a refereeing mistake in awarding this free kick.
Just look at Wedek, completely free. That's clever play, that from Djorkaeff. I don't think he went for goal there. He actually spotted him in that position. Plays it with his right foot.
And he could be in that position because Gary Neville was guarding the post. And that was intelligent work all round from the French players. But again, and their fans will be furious, it lacked the finish. But here's Wedek, but he's 1 against 3. And Sol Campbell got it back to Seaman.
Well, Wedek, what he chose to do, Martin, was the little flick, but actually he could have pulled the ball down with the instep of his right foot, swiveled and scored.
And the so needs attention, and Deschamps recognised that and sportingly put the ball out. Well, the so came off at half-time, of course, in the last game. He's waiting for the referee to allow Harry Lewin and Alan Smith to come on.
Just hope that so goes off on the stretcher.
Well, still flabbergasted by that. Maybe we missed something else, but that seemed to be what he was yellow carded for, David Beckham. There is the stretcher. And yeah, Graham Mosson, who is an intelligent guy.
Here's the free kick again. I'm sure Djorkaeff actually saw Wedek in that position, and look, that was a good goal-scoring opportunity. Completely unmarked. Should have scored.
Graham Mosson got the bang in the face there. There was an incident when he was chasing the play, and it's been a fierce first half. And as a rehearsal for what you might call more genuine competition, well, it's been more valuable experience for England. 0-0 at half-time, but it could have been 1-0 if Ian Wright had kept his goal-scoring run going on a set-up from Shearer, but he couldn't take the chance. David Seaman saved from Dugarry's header, and France have huffed and puffed without really threatening to break through. 0-0 at Montpellier at the break. France under threat, a bad back pass, Ian Wright. And it comes back from Mosson. This is Philip Neville. And England almost presented with a perfect start to the second half.
Good
Wright
situation.
His effort.
Good situation, Martin. They didn't really make full use of.
Good play in a creative sense that time by Shearer. Possibly handball by Phil Neville, and the referee has spotted that.
The linesman there, Martin, was stood 2 yards away as Phil Neville handled that ball. He didn't raise his flag. It's certainly a good start for England on the front foot. A lot more positive than what they were in the first half.
It is 48 years since England have beaten France in France. There have been 3 matches in that time, but the French have won all 3 of them. The most recent in this country was in 1984. Bobby Robson's England. And that was the French team that went on later that year to become European champions, so there wasn't too much disgrace in that 2-0 defeat in the Parc des Princes. Straight away from Dugarry. Now Gary now. It was a jest as a pass, and Gascoigne was being tucked, and he'll take some retribution of his own then. Referee given the free kick, and Vieira smiles. Gascoigne recognises a smile, doesn't he? And he went straight across and shook his hand. If it had been a scowl, a different matter.
It's a good link-up play that between Ince and Gascoigne. Good chest control from Ince, knew exactly where Gascoigne was.
Gary Nutt. Being right busy further forward for England. To area covered by Ngotti. Dealt with Shearer. Dugarry, he flicked it to the left then. Djorkaeff would have been in a very threatening position.
Yes, you're right. Neville chose to go and try and head the ball, but didn't really get near it. If Dugarry had got the header, Djorkaeff would have been in a lot of space.
Well, we talked about Keller operating on both sides, and he's going to at least start the second half on the right, having played on the left in the first half. Deschamps.
Yes, and there's no coincidence that the initial good start that England made in the second half came down our right-hand side. Gave Phil Neville the chance to get forward. He's only got 1 player to attack now rather than the 2 that he had in the first half.
Keller doing some attacking of his own. And Mosson saying he played the ball. Referee saying otherwise and showing the card to Mosson.
Well, I didn't think he did get the ball, but we'll see there. Well, you can't make your mind up on that. Certainly Mosson was very unhappy about it, even more so now, having got in the book.
So what will Djorkaeff come up with this time? Ngotti is there. Legler just out of your picture to the left. Djorkaeff cleverly towards Blanc, and England were pushed to the limit then.
I'm not so sure that wasn't a penalty. Clever ball in from Djorkaeff. Did Shearer push Blanc? Well, he falls as if he's pushed, but I don't think he made any contact. Let's have a clearer look here. Oh, he's looking for the penalty.
He is. Laurent Blanc was beaten by just the height. It was a very good attempt to find him.
Could have been in trouble though if the ball had been played exactly as Djorkaeff wanted to be played. As Blanc got the run on Shearer.
Now Djorkaeff. Southgate. Deschamps, really the defensive-minded of the French midfield, allowing Djorkaeff a platform between them and the two up front, Dugarry and Wedek. Beckham, England stretched again though. And Seaman's kick, not one of his better efforts.
Well, I was going to say, his kicking in this game hasn't been his usual self.
Covered a lot of ground actually to help out David Seaman and get underneath the ball as it dropped. Well, a wave going around the ground, and that's always a sign, isn't it, that the crowd is losing a bit of concentration. England will hope to keep their concentration. Vieira. Well read by Ince, and Paul Ince, as he blocked off by Blanc. Get up, says the referee. Again, one or two England players turn away, feeling that they were on the wrong end of the decision. Beckham in particular, who must keep his emotions under control. Thuram. Vieira. Djorkaeff. Wedek. Able to turn, but not that amount of time to settle. Roger just got the ball as Ian Wright was trying to take it away at pace. It's Keller who's gone back to the left-hand side. Probably Keller. Inside himself for Phil Neville now. He's coming back to the right again. Come to very often. They are, like Italy, a nation that moves around the country, bringing the national team to the people. Played here last in 1990. There's one sense that a lot of the French fans have travelled almost as far as the English fans to get right down here to the south of France for this match that marks the halfway point in the Tournoi de France. Shearer. Ricochets back the way of the England captain. Early cross, aim for right. Easily dealt with by Thuram. Djorkaeff. Vieira. Keller. David Seaman deciding to go a long, long way. Not an easy take, dropping over the shoulder.
It is for that man.
Beckham.
Well, the idea was good, wasn't it? Excellent run again from Wright, looking for the ball in the space behind. Just need a little bit more on it, the ball from Beckham.
Harry Neville and Dugarry. The referee saw of nature, really. Not too daunting, but Dugarry has earned his side a free kick.
Yeah, it's free kicks that presented the biggest problem for England.
Once again, Djorkaeff to take charge of it. Sol Campbell to stoop to steer it at least a few yards away. Vieira might have got a free kick that time, but the referee says no. He's going to take short to Ince. Phil Neville. Beckham. Now Ince. Not so easy for England to keep possession the way they did against Italy. But they've got some passes together this time. Blanc, that was a bit sloppy. And Shearer at least seized on it, and although he didn't hit the shot hard and true, he's got a corner.
No, he was a bit fortunate to get the corner, really, because quickly onto it. A mistake from Blanc. tries to shoot, taken him by surprise, doesn't get hold of it, but he wins the corner.
So the camera picks out Shearer, no way the corner will. Trying to force his way to the ball, but France cleared their lines and they've got Keller at pace. Reddick steaming into the centre. Djorkaeff's already there. Seaman deflects it. Gascoigne almost lost it. And Campbell picks out a fine ball for Wright, who's got a good bit to do here. And he's got a free kick.
This field with Ian Wright has been reluctance to go forward and attack the last man. Certainly got a lot of pace, but I think in that situation there against Laurent Blanc, you'd be better advised than to take him on.
Lasso. Trying to reconstitute the old Blackburn connection. I'm sure we've got a lot of goals in the Premiership from that type of ball from Graham Lasso.
Seaman elects to come in catch, he's put under pressure there, could have been a foul by Djorkaeff. Certainly Gascoigne should have cleared his lines here, he actually loses it in his own penalty box. For me that's a free kick. Djorkaeff hasn't attempted to go for the ball.
Reddick. And corner for France. Djorkaeff in a hurry to take it. Laurent Blanc has strode forward. Goes short to Dugarry. Djorkaeff. The error coming right round the back. The assistant referee saying that the ball had gone out. Shearer keeping Blanc with his sights. There's a bit more contact maybe that time than in the earlier incident.
Yes, he grabbed his shirt, but I think 9 out of 10 times in the penalty box you can get away with that.
Mark England's patience being tested to the full by the officiating tonight. A referee who is fluent in French, but I understand rather faltering in English. Difference on the foul count. So coming towards the hour mark. It's been a test of England defensively, as I'm sure Glenn Hoddle expected. He would have hoped for creative play, and that was a pass that maybe actually had right offside. It's a close one to call, but the flag did stay down. It was Beckham who spun superbly to drill it through.
It was a great ball with his left foot. You're right, Martin. Right was a yard offside, but I think the pass surprised the French defence as it surprised the linesman. That's why he didn't flag for offside.
There's a corner. A gesture from Gary Neville. Knowing him, he would be annoyed with himself rather than David Seaman for being able to really flew off the elder Neville. So a corner for France. And Djorkaeff. England push out. Keller. Now Vieira. Still only 20. Legler. And Gotti. Nice little pass, and England happy about that. That run towards the Cup Winners' Cup success in the 1991 season. Won the game, and Paul Ince actually played on this pitch then. Campbell cut it out. Clean first touch, but it's got a free kick, and they might have been allowed to go on then.
Allez, attention sur le côté, attention sur le côté.
Sitting down in a relaxed fashion now, the England head coach. Beckham, to find Shearer. And this is Djorkaeff. Having taken it that far, the pass had to be right. He had an opportunity to release Vieira a bit earlier than that.
That was a good situation for France, 2-on-1 against Campbell. Djorkaeff should have done better.
It's Gascoigne. Again. Phil Neville. Always wanting to push on down that right-hand side when the situation dictates. Shearer. Barthez knew where his left-hand post was. Barthez wouldn't probably have played in this tournament, but for the recent ban to the #1 Lamar. Jacquet denied his services. Lamar failed a drugs test and had a suspension the like of which Barthez had to serve himself last season.
Bit of movement, Martin, on the French dugout, not unexpected.
Dugarry! What a try! A dipping volley that didn't quite dip enough for the French striker.
Well, certainly that was unexpected too. Waste no time here, falls to him on the volley. Once again, that element of surprise. Could have dipped in.
Christophe Dugarry, in 18 previous internationals, has only scored twice. Mainly added to that. Wedek goes off. Patrice Loco. That's his first taste of the Tournoi. Loco also of Paris Saint-Germain. Will of course beat Liverpool in the semi-final of the Cup Winners' Cup. Just the two legs. Thuram. So Aimé Jacquet again exploring his options up front. The Wedek-Dugarry combination not bringing a goal. Thuram. Dugarry! Well, he outmuscled Gary Neville to get the header in. And England have found him difficult to deal with right from the off.
Well, Gary Neville makes no attempt to actually head the ball, just stands his ground. Dugarry gets the header in. Good ball in this from Thuram. Nice pace, curling away.
Well, there's talk of Christophe Dugarry leaving Milan and going to Barcelona. The problem is Barcelona want to hang on to Ronaldo. That saga goes on and on and on, and the Inter think they've signed him. Barcelona refused to let him go. It may be that FIFA will have to intervene. At the moment, Alan Shearer remains the most expensive player in the world. Dugarry's career is slightly on hold because of a hiatus involving Ronaldo. Here's Gascoigne. Did that well. Phil Neville. Beckham. France working hard to make it difficult for England to provide the right sort of penetrating passes from midfield. It's Ventura just got to that, to the disappointment of Shearer, who was all alone behind him and onside. Beckham again. It's over Thuram this time, and Shearer got to it, and once more Barthez comes up with a top-class save.
What a fantastic ball in that was with Beckham. He drives this to perfection onto the head of Shearer. Thuram can't get it. And really, expecting Shearer to score with that. It is a good save. we've come to expect these sort of balls nesting in the back of the net. It's a good chance.
As we look at that again, Paul Ince has given the ball away in England's midfield, and it looked as though France would really benefit from that. But England rallied round, and now they hoped that Shearer was onside, but he's not. And England looking for a goal if they were to win here tonight. And a draw against Brazil in Paris would win the competition. Then Huddle and his players.
Well, he head-to-head it back across the goal, didn't he, to the far post. Fortunately, he got it too central and allowed Barthez to make the save. What a great ball that was from Beckham.
Having seen the first one fall short, Beckham was determined to get to Shearer with his drilled effort. And here is Alan Shearer with Lasso racing infield. Shearer switching the play to Phil Neville. Gascoigne get free. Let's get back to stop Dugarry in possession for France. Campbell. Mike Shearer through the centre this time. Gascoigne right in that half-and-half position, so favoured by Sheringham. Shearer onside. Right likewise. Beckham going near post. Cross doesn't come. Keller complaining that the cover wasn't right.
Good little spell this for England, the best of the game. Stringing some good passes together. That was a good opportunity again.
Phil Neville getting to it, but only put it out of play. It allows England to regroup. Southgate and Campbell have gone up for the corner. Okay. The time in the game, Trevor, well, we often notice in Premiership matches where games, when they've been tight like this, tend to open up. Fatigue sets in. And both sides creating chances in the last 10 minutes or so. Right.
So just hope we don't overcommit. Because that's the danger. It's so quick, France on the counter-attack.
Deschamps. Thuram. Vieira. Give and go maybe off the front man there. Deschamps would have played it, actually stayed where he was. He only had players in a line with him. It's impossible to find them. Thuram. Keller. Now Vieira. Joker. The crowd expecting more from him.
Yes, you can sense that the patience is running out. And also, every time Djorkaeff gets possession of the ball, he's greeted with whistles from the crowd. Slightly surprising.
Well, the debate, as I say, has been going on because Zidane has been saying he'd like to play with Djorkaeff, and Xhaka indicated he wants Djorkaeff to play forward. And he'll hurt the opposition, even if he's not an out-and-out striker, by getting into the last third of the field. He doesn't want to see him picking the ball up on the halfway line all the time. He made that point quite clear in a press conference yesterday. Here is Djorkaeff. Sending Keller on a scamper, and you have to say that's an unnecessary free kick to concede for Sol Campbell.
Yes, and it was a free kick. Deep into the corner flag. Well, he was looking for it, wasn't he? As faint as the touch is, he over-exaggerated, wins a free kick. He certainly wasn't in that position, was much nearer to the corner flag.
And Mosson trying to tell the referee. And Mosson has been booked, so he can't continue this debate for any length of time at all, and it's going to be taken from the wrong position by Djorkaeff. Southgate's header. Legler! That's a great shot, and David Seaman showed why he is England's #1.
Was a good save. But great connection from Belqola on the volley with his left foot. Certainly was going in. Seaman watches it all the way.
England had to watch the corner all the way as Vieira came in at the far post. Complaints that there was a push. But Belqola couldn't have hit it better, really.
Well, this time we'll see it, and it is a good save from Seaman. Punches it over with his right hand.
England have got to maintain their defensive discipline here, and Shearer doing his bit. There is Zidane, who was very, very weary, he said, after the Brazil game. The effects at the end of the season with Juventus, his club, and of course the bitter disappointment of losing the European Cup final with Borussia Dortmund. Very wanting to go and get the ball to get the game restarted. Dortmund.
Return to the discussion about Djorkaeff. I think it's been a problem also for Roy Hodgson this season, Martin, at Inter Milan, knowing exactly where to play him. Do you play him off the front striker? Do you play him behind the front two? It's very, very difficult getting a team shape. As good a player as he is very, very talented. But the shape of the team is so important. I think it's been a problem for Roy all season.
Here's Vieira. So we're talking about Djorkaeff. Vieira, Loco involved as well. Loco, I'm not referring to Gascoigne. That's Gascoigne's pass. It's a super pass for David Beckham. In right, to his right, Beckham has the shot. And Barthez gets the ball away very quickly. Keller for Patrice Loco. Chance here, Jigari lets it run. There was actually no one who was going to benefit from that for France, but Ince wasn't to know that.
Well, there were chances there at both ends within the space of 30 seconds, and undoubtedly the best chance fell to David Beckham, who wasn't really positive enough. Good run from Loco, good pullback, with no colleague to finish it off.
Djorkaeff getting plenty of corner-taking practice. Vieira. The whistle's gone in England's favour.
Great ball that was from Gascoigne. Excellent time run from Beckham. Beat the offside trap. But he's in two minds. He thinks about it. By the time he decides to go alone, it allows the defender to come over and put him under pressure.
In too many occasions where David Beckham's elected to get ahead of the ball like he did there. Gascoigne found him with a prime pass. Wondering for Gascoigne not before him next. He got injured so early in Poland last Saturday, and then being hurt so late against South Africa in England's previous game. Gave a new meaning to the term injury time. Time in which he was injured, 93rd minute. So having to chase, well, not chasing him, he's given up on his own header.
Just slightly delayed it. Loudon got it to get over to put him under pressure. Not really a problem for Berthez.
Well, the substitution is for France, and there was a worrying moment for Alan Shearer because the number 9 board, the light went up on the board, and it is Dugarry, the French number 9, who's going off. And on comes Zidane to play with Djorkaeff. And David Beckham is being replaced with 15 minutes to go. England do make their change. Probably who've been doing so well on his return to the international setup. Scored against South Africa, set up Teddy Sheringham late on for England's second in Poland. But in that game, crunching blow on a toe kept him out of contention for the game against Italy. He's fine again and delighted to be in the fray again. Go it alone, and Gascoigne backing his ability on the ball, close to his own penalty area. Throw to France. Zidane. Here's Vieira. In the game, fatigue sets in and discipline becomes that much more difficult. Zidane to force it through. Campbell's ball. Oh, and Ian Wright was unlucky. It's been that sort of evening for him, really. Blanc. Vieira. Zinedine Zidane looking for Djorkaeff, actually went through to Loco. So the Zidane on Djorkaeff will be, has to be at least a supporting striker to Patrice Loco.
Oh, he was unlucky there, Robert Lee. Timed his run perfectly, nobody went with him. The flick had just fallen to him, he would have been through.
Thuram on the same wavelength to Loco, couldn't really have run in there without being offside.
I have to say that Thuram does look like a central defender playing in a right-back position.
Lee and Ince being brought on. Here's Shearer looking for Rob Lee's run. Corner for England. Ben Hoddle going even further towards reconstituting the side that played in Poland, that started the game in Poland.
What Laurent Blanc is complaining about is the run from Robert Lee, when none of his midfield colleagues attempted to go with him. Found England in situations 3-on-2.
So taking the corner, Barthez, who doesn't look the biggest of goalkeepers, certainly has an athletic spring. Produced the catch. Zidane. And that's Paulins, timing the tackle very well indeed. Legler produced that stunning shot. Stretch Seaman so much. Lee. The ball was actually touched off the pitch there by Teddy Sheringham. He was going to get the chance to touch it on the pitch. And another of the heroes of Katowice. So Ian Wright goes off.
Sheringham out 20-yard right.
Textbook stuff from Barthez. He's actually a fan of a game of rugby, brought up in that part of France where the game is strong and follows the game. Almost played it at a high level, so really able to use his hands. Another reminder for you of what's happening on Sky Sports football-wise tomorrow night from Le Tournoi, from Lyon. Brazil against Italy. It's so many great games between those nations down the years. Sheringham. Well, Trevor, do you feel that taking Ian Wright off, it's just a case of Wright being tired, or Ben Hoddle wants to get back to the type of player that Sheringham is and Wright isn't?
We'll see that in the next game, Martin. I think that undoubtedly England, in my opinion, are better with the striker just off the front. That's not to say that Ian Wright has played poorly, of course. He's done very well over the last 3 games he's played for England.
Alan Shearer enjoys playing with Teddy Sheringham. Not to get to the ball himself, but it came off the defender who was marking him. More progress for England. Not so this time, but Gascoigne going across to take the corner. England fans behind the goal, but England are attacking. Hoping to see something special from Ben Hoddle's team at this set play. Sheringham deflected, I think. Gascoigne kidded that he was going to play it to Robert Lee and picked out Sheringham instead.
What a great attempt this is by Sheringham. Difficult ball to hit. He does so well. Thought for a moment of deflection and actually got into the net.
Maybe another deflection there, but it is a goal kick. There was a spell midway through the second half when France were just beginning to put some pressure together, but England, I must say, coped with that well, looking to finish strongly themselves, and it just struck Belqola, didn't it?
I don't think it would have gone in, but certainly deflection could have taken it in.
It's Belqola who goes off for Lizarazu, who played so splendidly against Brazil. He's being courted by a number of clubs. He plays actually for Athletic Bilbao, top division in Spain at the moment. Phil Neville. So quickly down to business. 7 minutes left. Zidane.
Good tackle again by Phil Neville. Great recovery. Lizarazu had 2 or 3 yards on him. He was so quick in his recovery. Well, he's not given a free kick.
There weren't so many protests from England that time. They're concentrating on dealing with it rather than disputing it. Seaman opts to fist it away. It's taken by Zidane. Blanc. Something to crow about back at Highbury if that had flown into the top corner.
David Seaman, they're just having a little complaint. I think the complaint's about over the far side when Zidane got it too easy possession. Inst as well there, comes out quickly, closes down Vieira.
Shearer. Blanc trying to carry it forward. Took himself into trouble with the help of Deschamps and Vieira, and then Djorkaeff Zidane. That was as purposeful a move really as the French have put together in a direct fashion, but Zidane, in whom they have so much faith here, couldn't round it all off with a decent strike.
Good interplay, wasn't it, from Djorkaeff and Zidane? But once again, similar situation to what we saw in the first half. Not under any real pressure, but it snatches at the shot.
Lizarazu. Shearer to Sheringham. We've got players flooding into the centre. Sheringham's cross, and it deflected. Oh, and a goal for Alan Shearer! A mistake by Barthez. Shearer on hand, and England are in front again. Well, the captain stands tall and proud. Sheringham, inevitably, it seems, when the two are in tandem, had a part in it. But the goalkeeper spilt it, and Shearer scores.
Well, the goalkeeper should be locked up. Dreadful goalkeeping. But it's only what England deserved in the second half. They've been the better side.
Got on the score for
Give credit to Shearer, he doesn't give it up, he's on the spot. He reacts quickest to the mistake. Similar go to what France scored against Brazil. On that occasion it was Keller reacting quicker than anybody else. On this occasion, it's the costliest player in world football, Alan Shearer, who hopefully has got the winning goal for England.
Here's Zidane. Lizarazu. Oh, so misjudged that. Kept in play by Keller. Well, 3.5 minutes to go. Here's Sheringham. Zidane. Vieira. Now Keller. France, 16 home games unbeaten. Going into tonight's encounter with Ben Hoddle's England. Well, the England supporters. Not too many of them in the stadium, but really making their jubilation heard.
Once again, Martin, it was the SS pair, wasn't it? Sheringham and Shearer. They've got that all-important goal for England. Wasn't a great cross from Sheringham, it was a good run to find the space on that right-hand side. Lizarazu actually got a little bit of a block on the cross. But certainly Bartes should have done better in goal.
Here's Keller. Blanc. Deschamps. Zidane bowled over, but the ball was certainly played by Shearer. Tournoi. Well, that was ambitious. He's got a bit lucky, William Tournoi. Although that must have been a deflection off one of his teammates.
Yes, it came off the foot of Loco. They can't call for a corner there.
Well, the man of the match is on the viewers' vote, David Seaman. Shearer, 11 goals now in his last 11 games for his country. A player who scored on his international debut against France at Wembley, February 1992. And scores again at the expense of the French here tonight. England have just got to keep it tight in the few seconds that remain. But here's Didier Deschamps. Shearer gets there, and in the circumstances, that fits the bill.
Our away record, Moss, at the moment, it's really proving to be something fantastic, isn't it? Continue to score away from home, and also very, very difficult to penetrate. 1 minute away from another clean sheet.
Vieira. France not finished yet. Morocco, Keller came back from a goal down against Brazil. Not going to do it like that against England. And they've got precious little time in which to do it. Happily from England's point of view.
Easy catch this for Seaman. No one attempts to go in to attack it. And that's a problem for the French, Martin, if they're going to do well in this forthcoming World Cup. They've got to find themselves a goal scorer.
Well, England have got themselves one, haven't they? And he's not the only one. And a foul by Shearer as we go into stoppage time. Bartes has to kick it quickly to try and help his teammates make up for his error. Joker. Vieira plays to the left for France. From Deschamps to Lizarazu. Keller, who's certainly got an eye for goal. And a good run to attack that ball.
Yes, it's important that so went with him. There's good contact.
England funnel back. Tournoi. Morocco. Only be forced away though from the danger area. Ince gets to it, torpedo fashion. Blanc, good first touch to sweep it wide. Second minute of stoppage time. England a goal to the good, and homing in on another win. Gascoigne.
Just have to try and keep possession there. That was once again an excellent challenge from Phil Neville.
Such an excellent pass, but Gascoigne on the scene. Able to get away.
He's got to keep possession there. Sheringham and Shearer both made good runs for him.
Zidane. Last thrust maybe for France. Loco moving well again. Belair. Djorkaeff in the centre.
He's the only player, Djorkaeff, in the penalty box there. 1 minute to go, desperate for a goal. They've got one player in the box.
They've got one or two more arriving now. That was Vieira cutting it goalwards. The break on for England here. Gascoigne, they need to exploit it.
Just got to keep the ball. No need to force the issue. Got the goal, just keep a hold of it. That's good play.
England win again. Alan Shearer scores again. Very, very late on. Sheringham's cross, it did take a deflection. That unsettled Barthez, who'd been otherwise excellent, but a mistake like that has cost his side the game. 6 successive victories for Glenn Hoddle's team now. And tonight they send the host nation to only their second defeat in 36 internationals, and their first on home soil under Aimé Jacquet. The